Hello, everybody. It is Skip Clark. I am the host of Skip Happens, and with me tonight is country artist Ansel Brown, who's joining us to talk about his comeback. By the way, he's got a new single, and it's called Whiskey Makes Her Miss Me, and already I love it just by the title. It comes out in 16 days. That's going to be on the 13th of June, and his upcoming album, it's called Gravity. We're going to be talking about that as well, from chart success to real-life setbacks. Ansel's story and his music is all heart. And we're going to dive in right now. We're going after it. Ansel, how are you? Did I say the name right? Ansel.
Ansel, but it's better than... Well, can I say
I know. And I'm sure that's happened, right? I mean, everybody likes to make fun of names.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. My first go-around, I teamed up with a famous football player, NFL player named Sean Gilbert.
Oh, wow.
And we were doing an interview for a news channel at one of our hospital visits. And his dad was with us. And so we got finished with our interview and they want to interview his dad. So the whole time we're standing there, he's like, that Ansel Brown, he is the best, and he said it. I'm not joking. He probably said it 20. It was almost like he meant to do it, but it was like 20 times in the interview. And the interviewer, he couldn't keep a straight face. So I was known as Asshole Brown.
Well, there you go. I know. I get it. I know it's not meant to be that way, but that's the deal with names. And there's a story behind your name too, right?
Say that again.
There's a story behind your name as well.
Well, there's Ansel Adams is kind of the most famous Ansel of all. So
he's the photographer.
And I've actually been introduced as Ansel Adams a few times in my career.
Dude.
Oh yeah. And it doesn't really bother me because I was a huge Ansel Adams fan. Mm-hmm. And, but in South Carolina, there was a Governor Ansel at one point. And I think families in South Carolina liked him so much, they started naming family members or kids after him. So I still think that's where the name came from, but I can't 100% say that.
Okay. I get it. It is different. When I saw the name, when I got it from your team, asking for the interview, I went, okay, well,
yeah,
I mean, it is what it is, right? It's you. Why not own it?
Yep.
Own it. And just keep smiling too.
Yeah,
absolutely. So, you've been doing this for a little bit, but it seems like now you're finally hitting the radio. You're going to drop a new song. Whiskey Makes Her Miss Me. I love the title of that. I don't know. I think whiskey makes me miss her, but
you're right.
But I like what you did with that play on words, which is pretty cool. What inspired that song, and how does it reflect where you are in life right now?
Well, gosh, it's I've kind of lived that song, and when you hear it, it's that love that you wish would just really come back or happen. Mm-hmm. And in this case, the woman kind of only calls me when she's drinking the whiskey, and she's the wine makes her relax, the tequila makes her want to dance, and the whiskey makes her miss me. So it was really, I did not write that song, actually. It was by some heavyweight writers in Nashville, and my producer brought it to me last second. And now it's the leadoff single, but it was the song to me just had this vibe when I heard the demo, and I really just connected with the storyline. And I said to my producer, I said, I really want to do this song, and I think I want it to be my leadoff single. And sure enough, it turned out really well in the studio. And I'm excited that we got a hold of it and got to release it.
That's cool. You felt that right away. I mean, I'm sure you've heard others, and you just kind of go, I don't know about that. I don't know about. But that song
that happens a lot.
That's it. That's the one. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, I had 4 on this album. That kind of happened like that.
Cool. So we talk about the album. We're talking about Gravity. That's the album that's coming out. So this is going to be the first single off of that.
Yeah, it's going to come out in 2 EPs. So we'll have EP1 called The Rise. Mm-hmm. We'll have EP2 called Falling Into Place, and then the full album release this fall will be Gravity.
Why the dual release?
Well, I've got 15 songs.
Okay.
And I was going to do them all, all at once, but we started talking and really, you only get one chance to make a comeback.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, it's, as a marketing guy, I want to capture attention. And so my story on the album, you know, the rise and the falling into place and the overall word gravity meant more than you could understand. In my life, I say life's taken a few bites out of me in the last 10 years, and I'm getting ready to bite back.
You should.
But I felt like 2 EPs allow me to, one, focus on, you know, radio releases, you know, so we'll have one single, and then in July we'll have a second single called We Make America Run, which is an amazing song. And then we'll have the full EP release. So I get that much time to really garner some media attention. And then we'll have a second set of songs that make up the second EP. And the same thing, we'll release one lead-off single, then we'll release a second single, and then we'll release the second EP. Now, not all of the songs may make it onto the final album, or we may even add a song that we don't currently have. So I really wanted to drag out the releases because it is a big album. And I've spent a lot of time really thinking through the songs and the selection of the songs that I've written and that others have written. And just felt like it was the way to go on this comeback, or I call it a relaunch.
I love it. And I don't know, I'm going to just slide something over here. I don't know if you can see it on your screen, but you know, Ellie Brown is on there, and it just she's sending some love, and that's pretty cool.
She's my aunt.
Is she? Well, that's awesome. Hi, Ellie. I love it. I love it. You know, the supportive family is so important. So that's nice. When I see the comments come up like that, exactly. Yeah. You know, if I think back a little bit, you had such a strong start, mid-2000s, Music Row Discovery Award. I probably saw you at CRS at one time back then.
I was definitely active there.
Yeah, I went to the the Music Row party. I did all that. CMA buzz. How was your perspective on success? How has that changed since then?
It's... You know, we talk about sports, and I think we're both sports fans.
A little bit. I'm baseball. We're big baseball fans.
Yeah, I love baseball. I love football. My favorite is football. Just have to be honest there.
Who's your team? Who's your team? Come on.
Yeah.
Because I'm ready. Who's your team?
But you know, I don't know. The first time, it was such an adrenaline rush, and I was so new. You know, wet behind the ears. Very vulnerable, which I consider myself a vulnerable artist because I feel like vulnerability is a superpower, and especially for a singer. And I'm sure you probably feel the same way being a DJ in your life. It's, you know, vulnerability connects you.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And I have to say that the first time I was anxious a lot when I would perform. I didn't want to fail, obviously. And I got such a powerful start. You know, I was CMA debut spotlight, CMA Who Knew to Watch. I was Artist of the Month for the CMA during CMA Fest. You know, I had a great reception at Fanfare. Just all sorts of things just fell into place. And and I didn't have a major label, by the way. I was doing all this on my own with Sean.
And that's long been, not to interrupt you, but there's a lot of artists now that are breaking away from the major labels and doing it on their own.
Well, when you talk 70-30 deals, or you talk a lot of artists right now are getting 5.95 deals. They're getting 5% of the 100% of their royalties go to the, you know, and they're going to pay back the label for 10, 20 years in terms of the money that the label's spending on the artist. So it's smart to not, you know, just, there are reasons to do it. And then there are reasons to just rely on the digital world as we live in and really just build your fan base. You know, radio is great, but I think you need, you know, with radio, to break out in radio, one, you need a great song. Two, you know, in country radio, you've got to have the promotion capital to go out and push a song. And then three, it's just a luck game, right? It takes luck, being at the right place at the right moment. So a lot of people can't rely on radio right now in country music. They got to rely on the digital side.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, it's it's an interesting world, but I think if you do the right, my theory is that I feel like I can do anything that a major label could do myself. I feel like I can come up with the ideas, the plan. I can connect with the brands. I can do the things that I need to do to stand out and build my story where it almost forces people to talk about you and to experience your music in both the entertainment world. When I'm talking about that, radio DJs or program directors that hear about a story that's percolating. And that's really what my goal is as an artist. It's always to do what everybody's kind of like, how did he make the final space shuttle stuff happen? Right. How did he do that? That's what I want to continue to do, but in a bigger way this time. I feel like I was going through a dark room, and I was feeling my way through that room with the lights off. But this time I feel like I'm entering a lit up room. Does that make sense? And I'm cool. Seeing what I know. No, I've experienced this.
Makes a whole lot of sense. And you were telling me about, the reason behind the dual release and all that. You decided on that by yourself, right? You sat down.
I can't say by myself. I think my publicist was the first person to ask me if I had thought about that.
All right. So but nobody else was really telling you what to do. It was all that comes down to it being all you.
Yes. Yep.
Cool. I like
and
that.
it's a challenge to be an independent artist, but it's also a blessing. And it's a blessing because I can relate and connect with people at a deeper level. I was talking to a major brand today, right before I got on here for about an hour and a half conversation. And the brand is thinking about teaming up with me. I'm thinking about teaming up with the brand. And we're thinking of ways to team up. We'll just put it that way. And we're going to present to somebody else in the company. And it was exciting to sit there and talk to this person about ideas that relate to a brand in the retail sphere and music. And it's if people could feel the energy that happens when you have a conversation like that, and it deals with your own music. And it deals with your music career as a non-major label artist. It is, I can't even say how rewarding it is because it doesn't even measure. It's above whatever the measuring stick is. And that's what I get charged by. I'm a marketing guy at heart. My business is all related to marketing and advertising. I'll give it a plug. It's Envisionative and we're an agency. So I live for marketing ideas and just, I get such a charge out of talking to people like that, and they're willing to talk. So if artists have the right ideas and the right music or the right song, it's just like when I did the final space shuttle events for NASA, I had one song that I wrote that I felt really connected with the astronauts. And I sent it to the lead astronaut at Johnson Space Center. And I got a response about 6 months later with her calling me, telling me how much she loved the song. She loved it so much. She's like, I'm sending this to DC and let's see what happens. I didn't hear anything for another year almost. And the final space shuttle launch was happening like 12 weeks away. Okay. And I got a call as I was making a video for that song at an airport. And it said, you need to come to the phone right now. It's NASA. And NASA said, hey, we've talked to X, Y. I'm not going to say the artist, but they are major artists. But we love your song. We would be privileged and honored if you would come perform it for the final space shuttle event.
Oh my gosh.
And the final space shuttle launch. And so that changed. I mean, that impacted my whole family because it wasn't just me that got to experience that. It was my whole family. And we went, they loved everything so much because again, I'm a vulnerable artist. And I say that not in a negative way, but in a positive way.
No, I got you.
I believe in vulnerability as a superpower. And I tend to connect with people at a deeper level than a lot of people connect. And it's one of my God-given talents is to be able to connect like that. And so after that first experience, they were like, hey, can you come and do the final space shuttle landing? It's a private event for astronauts of the history of the program, world media, and of course, dignitaries. And I was like, yeah. And they were like, hey, can you get on this national radio, country talk radio show and do a live broadcast from the final landing? And I did all of that for the landing. And they're like, hey, can you come back and speak after the administrator of NASA to all of the employees that are going to lose their jobs because the program was ending? So they asked me to talk to everybody in a way that would uplift their spirits as this program was coming to an end. And that was a huge honor. And then I went on for 10 years to have relationships with NASA on an official basis with Space Act agreements for youth programs and veteran programs.
Are they going to put you in a capsule? No, I'm just
yeah.
Dude,
I kind of hinted that I wanted to get up there, cool. At some point, but it hasn't happened yet.
I'm totally captivated here. You've got my attention. I didn't expect this. This is like, dude, you're the best. Keep going. I'm not going to stop.
It's if people just understood the power of music. I used to be a worship leader back in the day. Mm-hmm. And churches use music to get people ready for a sermon. And it's because music does something that almost nothing else can. And it opens you up. It opens you up to emotional, your own emotional vulnerability. It allows you to be open to whatever that message is. And for me, country music is very similar in terms of what you want it to do, because it's story-based. It's something that really drives home a message, whether it's a funny message or a sad message or an excited message. And I think NASA realized the power. I mean, NASA realized it so much that they had me judge a song competition nationally for youth. And these are youth that are involved in their tech transfer program. That's an amazing. Man, I could have a whole podcast with you just about that program.
We might have to do that down the road.
It's eye-opening and extraordinary. And so we ended up doing a national song competition. My manager and I chose the winning song. We wrote and finished the song with this little girl, this teenage girl, and NASA, paid everybody to go out and recorded in Nashville, and the girl got to experience that the way that goes. And she had cerebral palsy on top of that, which was when they didn't tell me anything about the girl. So when I went to Kennedy Space Center to meet her at this big event it was called the Optimus Prime Awards event. And when I walked in, there was a girl in a wheelchair, and my heart I melted immediately. I was like, because they knew my background in children's hospitals and my Bigger Heart tour and all the work I had done with Ronald McDonald houses. Sure. And I mean, goes on. It couldn't have been like nobody knew that she had cerebral palsy, but the fact that they knew and they didn't want to tell me because they really wanted to see my vulnerability.
Your reaction to the whole situation.
I cried right there. I met this girl. I instantly connected with her. She went to Nashville. She's sitting there with my producer, and the producer was noticing that she was kind of singing along as I was recording. And we asked her, do you sing? And she's like, yes, I sing. I wrote the song. I started this song. And so we got her in the studio, and she ended up doing the background vocals on that song. And then, do you know about the radio station that's in the Nashville, what's the big event center in Nashville where the big conference center?
You're talking about the, I'm Sirius right XM now. has a studio up in the tower of the, oh my God, I'm having a brain fart.
It's the, it's a big, huge, I'm so somebody on the chat can probably tell us.
And I walk by it all the time.
Yeah. But it's not in downtown Nashville. It's in the suburbs, and it's a huge conference center. And they've got a big, famous old radio station in that conference center that you walk by.
Are you talking about the WSM? Are they?
That might be it. That sounds familiar.
I'd have to think. It could be, because they're big. They're big Nashville. They have a lot of history with the Opry and what have you.
Yes.
But I'm thinking of the Gaylord Entertainment Center. That's right. Isn't that right?
That's it. That's where it was.
Yes. And it has the big tower outside.
Yes.
Right? And there is a radio station in there. Yes.
So we got to go, and when the song released, they were the ones that debuted it, and they had us both on to have me sing it, had her and I interview, and it was just like this amazing experience that you couldn't have written out as a movie in my mind. And we went on to surprise her when we were finished with the song. We surprised her in Oregon at her high school. And I have never seen a student get so much love from an entire population of a high school. We had to do two performances because there were so many students. And to this day, it's one of those things that are just locked like in my brain permanently, like it was yesterday. And it was an incredible experience to be able to stand up on stage with her. In fact, if you look at my LinkedIn profile, you'll see her on the stage.
Oh, wow.
Sitting with me in that moment. I still have it as my LinkedIn profile picture. I did. I don't think I changed it, but it's something that's always stuck with me. It was just an amazing, I can't tell you how amazing. That was almost as big as doing the shuttle stuff, to be honest. It was that important and impactful to me. And, but I went on to have, 3 Space Act agreements with NASA. We almost had a TV show on Discovery Channel together. And don't like to talk about failures, but, it was one of those things that timing just wasn't perfect. And we had just gotten a letter of intent from Goddard Space Center. And everything kind of crumbled down. That was during my time off from music.
Don't ever say that's a failure, because
it wasn't. It was,
you had that opportunity and it just didn't work out, and something else happened. So,
and my main person at NASA, Daryl, his name's Daryl, and he might be listening right now, actually. He's just wonderful, man. He was just all in on what we were trying to accomplish together. And we had Dale Jr.'s people involved in the show as well. And it was just one of those things. Timing wasn't just, timing just didn't work out. And, but I still have a relationship with them at NASA, and it's been something that changed that wouldn't have happened without music.
No, it absolutely would not have. No.
Yeah. And artists need to understand that's the power of one song. And if you can figure out the process of getting that song that you believe in, that has the message that you connect with something else, artists need to always remember the song is powerful. It's more powerful than just playing on the radio or streaming and people listening to it. It can have impact in your life from a business perspective as well.
Right. Ellie's on here still. And Ellie says, if anybody is wondering, I call Ansel Michael. He's my nephew. She's making it known. She's making it known. Also, do you know, I'm looking at all these comments coming up. Hello there. I just woke up at 7:34 a.m. in Vietnam. Mike, is that Mike Ureta?
Mike Ureta.
Ureta?
He's my manager.
Oh, but what? He's in Nam? He's in Vietnam?
Yeah, he was in China for 2 weeks, and then he moved. Goodness. He went over to Vietnam last week. And I was like, great timing, Mike. My single's coming out on the 13th, but hey, go ahead and go to Asia.
Where are you going, dude? I got 16 days. My single's going to drop to radio. Where the heck are you going?
We've been living this reversed life cycle or day cycle, because he's 10 hours ahead of us, or 12, depending on
whatever it is. Yeah, I don't know. I get all that messed up, but still,
it's been kind of comical the way we've been communicating.
I think it's great, though. I think it's awesome. You've been doing all this, and you took that long pause from music because of health and personal challenges. What was it like, though, actually stepping back into the studio after all that time away? Dude,
it was actually a 4-year process.
Okay.
I started back in 2020 with a guy that's known as the TikTok cop.
Okay.
And he's pretty famous. He's been on Dr. Phil. And anyway, I got kind of irritated that he got fired for his opinion and for one of his videos. And so I said, hey, can I write a song and you collaborate with me on it, and just make sure that, you agree with my message tone. It's called Middle of the Madness. And I wrote it not to alienate anybody, because I'm not a political person. I don't believe in alienating any of my fans. I love everybody that likes me. Yep. And I put a lot of effort into that one song, and that was the one song that relit my desire to do this. And it's not that I lost the desire, it's that I went through a dark time in my life. And then I went through a health issue with AFib, with chronic AFib.
Yep. My brother-in-law
and it hit me younger than most people. Of course, now with these, people that are in their 30s and even 20s are realizing they have AFib.
Yep.
So because a lot of people don't know that they're having it. And I'm trying to get the awareness out about that, because a lot of people can't tell. Yeah. And luckily I could tell every time that I had it. But I went through all of that, and I got to that point in during COVID where all the anti-police stuff was happening. Mm-hmm. And I just got irritated by it when I heard his particular story. And I was like, okay, look, I know not everybody has to agree. No, not everybody has to agree that cops are good or bad or whatever it is. But I wanted people to know most of them are very good. Most of them are heroes in our communities that we mm-hmm. need. And I wanted to write a song that kind of uplifted police at that level, but didn't really alienate somebody that had a bad experience with police, because those happen. It's just like in any industry, you're going to have bad apples. And I wanted to write the song in a way that admitted that if I wasn't raised a certain way, I might not feel the same. And that's a big part of this song, is understanding that not everybody views what I view the same way. And I wanted to have that as something that's admitted in this song, but at the same time, to let people know it's crazy to think we don't need police officers. Right. And it's crazy to think that they should not intervene in somebody, that's getting attacked.
It's unbelievable. I have a godson who's a chief of police here in upstate New York. And when we sit and talk, and we were just doing that on Memorial Day, he was hanging out. He came over and I interviewed him as I did the broadcast for the parade. And just this, afterwards, the stuff he was telling me, and the stress and the anxiety, and just what the emotions from so many different types of people, I'm like, I wouldn't be able to do that. I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it.
It's a hard line of work to have as a person in the United States. It's mm-hmm. just one of those mm-hmm. things that, I feel like people tend to use it as a political thing. And that's where you get into a bad situation where people are getting hurt for no good reason. And people are being blamed for things that they're just trying to help and do what anybody that had I want to say, but anybody that has a brain would understand.
No, you've
got to do something to stop this. Yeah. And so I wrote the song. It's out on any of the streaming services, but that got my love for music restarted. And I started going to the studio at that point. And slowly I finished songs that I had been writing with Brent Bowers and Harrison Foreman, who are just great guys who kind of jumped up, and they were the ones that first talked me into getting back into music. They said, it's time, let's start finishing your songs. Let's record them. And we did it at a place in Salisbury, North Carolina. And that took me literally about 3.5 years. And I stopped and finished in 2024, right around March. But something told me I wasn't done with the album. So I didn't do anything. I didn't go on. I kept doing my children's YouTube channel with my daughter, and continue to focus on my business. And I don't know, about 8 months later, I got reconnected with my original producer, Cliff Downs, who's an amazing, talented, just well-respected. He's worked with Garth. He's worked with, he writes with guys that you would be like, okay, this is awesome. He's just an amazing person, but he had cancer and he had beaten it. And we got connected, and I said, I want you to hear what I've kind of been playing with in the studio. And we both agreed after he heard it. He was like, hey man, I want you to hear some songs. And so, because he had been a president of a big publishing company, and he couldn't reason why I didn't ask him to begin with was he could not record or produce albums under the terms of his corporate job.
Yep.
Only with the writers and the artists that were on that in that company. He was
restricted from what he could do in that too.
I didn't know that he had left, and he decided he wanted to go back to his own business of being a producer. And so when he told me that, I was like, maybe this is why I was waiting. I feel like there's a plan here. And sure enough, he brought me 4 songs that just changed everything to me. And before you know it, I was in Nashville. We were recording. We're using some of the best session players that artists can use. and Whiskey being the first one. But there's 3 others that 2 are going to be on the first EP, 2 will be on the second EP, and we may be doing 1 or 2 more songs that might end up on the final album. And I don't know, man. I just feel like I honestly felt like we never stopped talking, even though we kind of did for a good number of years. We didn't really communicate, and it just came all flooding back. Yeah, and when I was in that studio with him,
right where you left off, you picked up.
Yes.
So to speak.
You know, the great thing about Cliff is he is a teacher at heart. Like he studies every word in a song as you're performing it in the studio. And he really makes you think about, and not taking any, Brent and Harrison, just these guys that pushed me to go different direction than I had ever gone. So they got me to do that, and nobody else has. But with Cliff, cool. It was like the sensei, you know, it was like the master coming to the student. And, you know, you just feel this power that he has. And I don't know, man, it is just awakening for me. And from that point on, I was like, you know what, I'm going to launch this next year. This was back in 2024. And we're going to finish this thing, and I'm going to do it in a bigger way than I was planning to. I was like, this is the moment that I need to get back out, and I need to turn heads, and I need people to go, how the hell is Ansel doing this again? And I think being a disruptor in my own way, I'm not saying that I'm truly a disruptor, but I disrupt in a way that I think a lot of artists can't, because of my experiences and my background. It gives me that extra bit of power to my story that I think opens doors and allows me to get somebody to listen. And because my stories go on and on, man. I don't think anybody's experienced as much as I have as an artist.
It definitely sounds it. I need to ask, tell me about Bullet Bob and Bombshell Babe.
How do you know about Bullet Bob?
Because I am looking at his comment. I don't know if you can see it or not. Let me see if I can bring it over. Here, let's do this. I don't know. Can you see that?
Dude, that's a celebrity right there.
Bullet Bob and Bombshell Babe love your music and support you. How cool, man.
Yeah, Bullet Bob is a famous NASCAR souvenir and merch guy.
What?
Oh, yeah. He came in with Jeff Gordon when Jeff Gordon first started, handled his merch and everything for, 7 years as he took over NASCAR. Then he moved into Dale Earnhardt.
Wow.
And then he handled Chevy. The guy is a legend in NASCAR.
Let me ask, are you a NASCAR fan?
I love NASCAR. I like racing. I've written a theme song for the World of Outlaws racing organization for dirt racing.
Nice.
I love NASCAR. At the same time, I'm disconnected a little bit because in the last 10 years, I really I was really not focused on. I was focused on football. That was about it.
I got you. You still haven't told me your team. So
the energy that I get when I go to a NASCAR event, and the adrenaline, and same thing with the dirt racing. They're both really cool to watch in person. Like, I actually love watching them in person. And but I'm
I've been to Charlotte.
I live in Race City.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this is Mooresville, North Carolina, is Race City, USA. This is where 90% of the race teams are.
So, yeah, I've been to the Charlotte race a couple of times. And I remember going, I don't know where we went, obviously not from there, but we ended up seeing a lot of the shops. And I think we went by Earnhardt's place.
Oh, yeah, that's right out near where I live.
Oh, okay. Okay. Because I still remember, I think it was like a railed fence. It was just, but I mean, it was,
kind of a square building.
Yeah. Oh my God. That is so freaking cool.
So Dale Earnhardt was Darrell Waltrip and Dale Earnhardt are my 2 favorite drivers.
Okay.
Darrell Waltrip was my first favorite because he was so funny. He was hilarious to me. And just as a kid, I just grew up loving his Tide car, and I think it was Tide, and just, watching Darrell Waltrip. Later on, I ended up leading Michael Waltrip's children in worship service for a number of years. And that was when I was doing worship. And then I became infatuated with Dale Earnhardt right before his life ended.
Yeah.
I had really connected to him as a driver because I liked the black 3 car, and I liked I liked his aura because I saw him doing an interview about his marketing of his products.
Oh,
and
he
as a
was
marketing
so
guy
good with that.
Yeah, that's like spice on my food. When I hear anybody talk about their drive for good marketing, it just stuck with me. And I started rooting for him. And then I watched the day that he lost his life.
Yeah, I was watching that day.
Yeah, I saw that race, and right down the street from me, his body laid in rest in the funeral home for a day or two.
Yeah.
And I just remember vividly just the sign on the funeral home and their prayers. And so I would say Dale Earnhardt ended up touching my heart more than any other driver.
I bet.
And yeah, it's just I'm sure Bob's got things to say. Bullet Bob would have some things to say right now.
Bullet Bob. Next time I go to a race, I'm going to be like walking up to these trailers and going, "Are you Bullet Bob? Are you Bullet Bob?"
Yeah,
I'm Skip, the guy with the podcast.
Bullet Bob and I get coffee a lot together, and we hash out ideas. He's a huge supporter of my music. Just a great guy, and that's the other thing. The first time I felt like I was doing this by myself, even my family was disconnected. And I've got 5 kids, and I felt like I kind of left my home, went to Nashville. I performed on Broadway for a year and a half. I've done it all there.
Yeah.
I built my fan base kind of Nashville West. And this time I feel like everybody was ready for me to do this and wanting me, including all the veteran friends that I have. They were all wanting me to do this. And I feel like this time I really want to resonate out of the Carolinas, out of the Southeast, and really focus on my hometown, my home states, and really build my fan base here first and focus on it instead of just going to Nashville.
Right. So where are you?
I'm in just north of Charlotte, North Carolina, in an area called Lake Norman.
Oh, I'll be flying over your house next Thursday because I'm flying into Charlotte for a wedding, a family wedding. But
that would be great. We got to do lunch, man. I'm involved in a couple of restaurants, and
oh, dude, I mean, if I got some time, I'll text you. Yeah, no, absolutely. And you're talking about family and how you kind of broke away from them for a little bit, but now you're back together. And I'm watching all these comments. There's a Tracy Hoffman, a Michael Deckman, who, by the way, saying Buffalo Bills. Tracy Hoffman, I mentioned, you got Mike on there from Vietnam, Deanna Mitchell. I can go on and on. I mean, you got a ton, man. And your aunt continues to post. So can you hear me okay? I hope you can. Can you hear me? Ansel. You know what? I don't know. He's like, so, but just shake your head. Can you hear me?
Am I, something's going on with my system. No, I got you now.
I can hear you.
Hold on 1 second.
Good. We're hanging. But Ansel Brown is who I'm talking with tonight, and what a story. Just hang on with us because I know he's going to be right back, but he's an independent artist, got a brand new song. It's Whiskey Makes Her Miss Me, and it's a very vivid title. I love the title. And his whole story of, he was on a roll early on, and then now he is, he took a little break, some issues, and now he's making a comeback. And I just love seeing all you guys posting. It's so good when I get to talk to somebody like that, and I see, well, Jacob Smalley is an artist, but still everybody else, got Bob and Deanna and, of course, Mike. He's in Vietnam. This is being watched all over the world, which is cool. And, I have your attention. You could always go to YouTube, subscribe to Skip Happens. So it's pretty good. I'm trying to see if Ansel is going to pop back in. I can hear him. I don't know. But, so is it Divasita? Love whiskey.
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you loud and clear. I just don't see you. Oh, now I see you. There you are. Ladies and gentlemen, he has returned from the abyss. He is back.
I've had gremlins in my computer today. I'm not sure what's going on.
Oh, that's okay. No, I got you now. You look fine. I was talking to all your friends over here. Are you kidding? It was all cool.
Oh, were they?
So, talking,
I'm trying to see. I can see the chat now.
Can you see the chat? I don't know if I can. It's a
I can see it now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So it's all there.
Deanna Mitchell. Let's see.
Oh, yeah. That's cool. That's cool.
Oh, Eldridge Bravo. He's got a song on my album.
Very cool.
So that's cool. EB.
Mm-hmm.
This is cool. I know we were going to get into sports and everything, but I got to say that the love that I'm feeling, and I've got some supporters that I can't tell you how important they are to me.
Absolutely. I totally get that. get that.
It's just good because going through some of the stuff that I went through, I don't know, it just feels right. It just, at this moment in my life, I've got I've built a good business.
It sounds
it. 4-year-old.
God bless you, man. God bless you. You know what I want to hear about? You talked about it earlier before we went on, and I saw somebody else mentioned it. But your YouTube channel, Seriously Sophia, with your daughter, that adds such a personal layer. And so let me ask, how has fatherhood shaped your music because of that?
Honestly, I'm trying not to cry right now. Sorry,
dude. It's all good. It's all good.
The kids that I have are just amazing spirits. All of them are creative spirits. Some of them, and I sound like I have a pack because I did.
That's all right.
Some of them very highly creative ones, like a major up and coming video game artist.
Nice.
For some very major games like Halo Infinite and Squanch games, High on Life, and another is just as creative but very analytical.
Mm-hmm.
So he's getting into programming, and then another's like hands-on, kinetic learner but very creative.
That's huge. Though.
And yet another is, the architect type, and just very, wants to be good at that, but still very creative. And then my daughter is just hands down. She's just like the only girl in the family. So you know what that means.
Oh my, she
rules everybody.
I do.
And cause all the boys, cause I got 4 boys and 1 girl. And, she's up there on the creativity scale, but she started really early. She leads me in our channel. And if you're looking for a country artist, don't look at that channel, because I'm just a goofy dad in that channel.
I love it. I love it. That's
again,
the
vulnerability, right?
Yeah, no, exactly. And, when I do this podcast, one of the other reasons I do this is not only to get to know somebody like you or an independent artist, or even go a little bit deeper with a well-established artist, but my point is to prove that you're real people too.
Yeah.
You shop the same stores. You do all this with your kids. I put my pants on the
same way.
Exactly. And what did I tell you before we went on that? I do the podcast. It's not your typical podcast. It's a conversation. It's not just an interview saying who are your influences and this and that. Yes, I'm asking various questions, but I want to know who your favorite football team is. I want to know who your favorite. The Panthers. They were telling me the Bills or the Cowboys. Oh no!
Listen, I like any good football team. I respect.
You just like a good game.
I have a song. I was a Green Bay Packer fan for a while. I've been a Pittsburgh fan at times. There are certain teams that speak to me, and I kind of look at the teams that are the Buffalo Bills do speak to me. Honestly, they're kind of the Panthers North, because we've shared a lot of front office people and coaches, and so there's just a natural connection. But I just love football. I was a football coach. I coached youth football. Wow. We went to a couple of Super Bowls and won a couple of Super Bowls in a row. And I've written a song for the Panthers called "We Call It Football." and very tied into the community relations team over at the Panthers with Riley Fields, who's just he's an amazing person. And I was kind of their Luke Combs before Luke Combs maybe was even, I don't know. I think he was born probably, but I was in that role with the Panthers for a while, and we did a song together called "We Call It Football."
So I'm told you secretly love the Cowboys.
Oh, that's okay. Now I get what's happening. Yes, some of my people want me desperately to be fans of their teams. That's what it is.
I get it. I love it. I love it.
Listen, good football is good football, though.
Yeah.
And
no, it
I
is.
can watch
Absolutely.
any game on Sunday, even if my team's not playing.
Yeah. Do you have like the NFL ticket? So you have like you can watch any and every game? That's crazy.
I've dabbled in that, but I don't have it currently. I can go to a sports bar. I've got a place called Hot Shots right here in Mooresville that's very supportive of my music. I can go there anytime I want and watch any game I want to.
I love it. I love that.
Yeah.
What about baseball or no?
No, I grew up, I played baseball as a youth. I coached lots of baseball for youth.
Good
and
for you. Wow.
I love it from a sports perspective. And I played catcher growing up. I was a very good catcher. I played some shortstop. I should have been a pitcher. I was the kind of player that I didn't have enough confidence when I was young to be the quarterback or the pitcher. And I wish I would have been or allowed myself to try to do it, because I always had the strongest arm on the team. And I remember one time I launched a football in practice for my youth team, and I think it went about 70 yards, 65 yards.
Oh, wow.
And that was pretty major. That was like a pretty good throw for
huge.
A person that was out of college and maybe even above NFL age. I just remember the kids kind of looking around, they're going, who just threw that? But I kind of I feel like I missed an opportunity because I didn't really have anybody. My dad was in the Navy, so he was gone a lot. And I didn't really have anybody pushing me to go, hey, you should be a pitcher or you should be a quarterback. So I was always like a defensive end in football.
Gotcha. Good
one. And I got the quarterback a lot. Yeah. Or I was a catcher in baseball. So I was catching the ball, but that was also because I had a strong arm and I could throw people out at second.
Yes.
But yes, I love baseball. And I love ice hockey. I love watching my Hurricanes. I used to be a Capitals fan. So I did switch to the Hurricanes, and I used to be a Redskins fan, by the way. Sorry, whoever wanted me to be a Cowboy fan.
Well, now they say you're a Steelers fan. I mean, yeah. Oh boy, your friends are really. I'm talking to the city of Pittsburgh right now about something. So I'm pretty excited about. And that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, it has to do with a song called "We Make America Run," which is really a good song for Pittsburgh.
I love it. See, like I said, we're a big baseball family. I do enjoy football, but maybe you're a little more into it than I am. But I do enjoy watching a good game. It's always great. But we're New York Mets.
Okay.
The team here in Syracuse is the AAA affiliate of the New York Mets, the Syracuse Mets. I work as one of their PA announcers, which is cool. I love it.
That's awesome.
Because we see a lot of the major players at this level. And it's just so much fun. My son works in the press box. He's, I told you before, he's Down syndrome and he's 24, but he's up there working. He does the scoreboard. It's just amazing. But, we've been doing baseball for a long time. We used to house the players. My wife and I would open up our home to the players years ago when they would come into town and not have a place to stay.
That's all. See, I don't think that happens today.
It does not. They don't allow them to do that. But a few years ago, up until 2019, that's when it stopped.
Oh, and it went that long.
Yeah. Yep. And being, at the games all the time, we get to know the coach. We know the manager. We know everything about it. And it's like, well, if somebody's coming in and they need a place to stay, have them call us. So almost every year we would have a player or two staying with us. And 9 times out of 10, they were Latino, spoke no English. So it was rather interesting in the house. But I will say they took over my wife's kitchen. And like when the wives were here and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my God, could they cook? I'm
Well,
just
my
saying.
wife is from Colombia, South America.
All with the plantains and just,
Oh,
my
yeah.
God, it's so good. So
I can't diet here.
Now my type 2 diabetes here. But no, it's happening. It's happening. It's amazing talking to you. It is just, I don't know. I've done so many podcasts and I don't think, I mean, I love them all. Don't get me wrong. But this whole conversation with you and your background and what you've done and what you believe in and where you want to go and the friends and the support that you have is amazing.
Thank you.
Really amazing. I did
Made my
not know
day.
I did not know what to expect because I'll be honest with you, I wasn't sure who I was talking to today.
Yeah.
I got a nice email. I mean, I love, your PR people. They're great. And I work with a lot of them in Nashville. They send artists my way. They want to get it out and stuff. But it's just amazing what you've done and what you've been saying tonight.
You totally made my day, man.
And it's just, to see all your friends coming on here and everything as well. You've been using your platform supporting the veterans, the children's hospitals, faith-based causes. Why are those so close to your heart?
The kids were the first thing. And, being a dad, obviously that's important to me. But, the kids made me understand. There was one girl in particular named Haley Cook that I think she was on her 36th brain surgery.
Oh, my Lord.
And I was with her and got very close to her and her family. I was in the Special Olympics with her and just my little girlfriend, man. She was just amazing. And she is amazing. She's like in her 20s now. But so she did survive. But she taught me, people would talk to her, adults that were facing life-threatening illness or needing surgery. And she would just say, don't worry, you're going to be okay. And, it opened my eyes to see a child that doesn't know how their future is going to be and all of the struggle that they face, but they're still like just that faith, that innocence of a child. And I think adults, we curl up in a ball when we face something very, very dangerous or bad or scary. And, if you just talk to a child that's in a children's hospital, your whole perspective would change.
100%. I have a moment where, have you been to St. Jude?
I have never been to St. Jude's, believe it or not. And I've been to hospitals all over the U.S.
Yeah. We were a St. Jude radio station, so to speak. We would do the radiothon every year. We did it for like 5 years. And every year they would fly us out to, to go through the briefing. We'd be in Memphis and we'd stay at the Peabody, whatever. And we tour the hospital. And to see and hear these kids, to see and hear the parents, they tell you not to, we're not allowed to talk to anybody. They gave us the tour of the hospital and all that. But I remember they gave us the tour and we had our lanyards on. I had my name on it, where I was from, Syracuse, New York. And I walked out into the lobby and see, this is where it gets me. But I walked out into the lobby and there was a family sitting there on the couch and a little boy. And you could tell he was at the hospital for a reason. And he comes up to me. He goes, Mister. I go, yeah. He goes, your name, you're from Syracuse. I go, yes. I don't remember what his name was, but he knew my name was Skip. And he goes, home of the Orange, the Syracuse Orange, basketball, football. I go, yeah, that's right. He goes, do you mind if I give you a hug? So we hugged, and Ansel, and it was years ago, and I still to this day, not knowing what his outcome was, not knowing, I got that.
That's
goosebumps.
it right there. What you just said, whenever I would visit children's hospitals, and I got very, very close to the children and their families, room by room, private meetings. It was, I never wanted to ask a child or a parent or a nurse what the children I was visiting were facing.
Right.
Because honestly, I was there, and just like you were there, we're there to kind of help them forget.
Mm-hmm.
They end up impacting us more than we impact them. But
oh my God, so true.
I never knew any of the honestly, I never knew any of the outcomes of any of the children that I visited in those years. And I'm kind of happy because I got to be with them in a situation where that didn't matter.
Yes. Right. Yes. Yes, absolutely. Wow.
And that's the magic of people that are in media, that are entertainment or sports, and being with these kids and really not making it about why. It's about today, and it's about just being together.
Yeah.
And the same thing with the veterans, believe it or not, because so many veterans are facing so much PTSD issues and suicidal issues today. And when I wrote Our Country and collaborated with Peter Cullen, who's the voice of Optimus Prime and all the Transformer franchise, he instantly, when he heard the song, he instantly said, I'll do this for you. I want to narrate the intro.
Mm-hmm.
And I was blown away. But it was because he had a brother that was, he died from Agent Orange exposure in Vietnam, had cancer, was a major decorated soldier. And when I went to sing that song to make a video at Richard's Coffee Shop in Mooresville, which is one of the most famous coffee shops in America, it was just on ABC's and ESPN for their Veterans Day special, which I branded, by the way. I branded their big sign that's on TV was my brand. And I did that pro bono because they're my guys.
Yeah.
They're my family.
Wow. Okay.
And I sang that song, and I'm telling you guys that you would never, ever see cry. Guys that their families don't even know their stories because it's that personal. We're sitting in a circle around me, and I remember tears after tears after tears after tears. And the same thing happened on Monday when I did it for Memorial Day. And the guys, they teach you that the stuff that we're going through is just, you can't touch what these men and these kids.
I know. Wow.
And when you have that perspective, I have AFib. Okay. To me, I fought it differently because of the people that have impacted me and those roles that I've played as an artist, getting out with the people that I care about. And it's been an amazing, way. Anybody that, if you don't volunteer at a hospital or at a veteran community area or center or coffee shop or whatever it is, you're missing out on something that will absolutely impact your life. And these people, the kids and the veterans, are just amazing to me. And I'm, part of me getting back into this now, I will be doing a lot of work with veterans, and I will be doing a lot of work with kids. That's just that's got to be a part of it.
You have to promise me that you'll come back on Skip Happens, and let's talk about maybe a few weeks down the road, a couple of months down the road. Let's find out what's happening with you. Let's find out what you're doing. Let's find out, because this is tremendous. It's powerful. Now, on a brighter note, what's the deal with the hat? Somebody was mentioning the hat. Nice hat.
This is my this will be my main. This is my main logo.
Love it.
So it's an A B.
Okay.
So see the A.
Oh,
I'm trying to look at this and I'm backwards. So.
No, I see what you're saying. No, I got it.
A and then B.
Right.
And so Ansel Brown, and it's my
cool.
my relaunch hat.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's near and dear to my heart.
So now the hat I'm wearing, as you can see, it says grateful.
Grateful. I love it.
Now, do you know what that's about? He's an artist. His name is Scotty Hastings.
Okay.
I had him on the podcast here a while ago. It's all about being grateful. And it's funny because this whole conversation that we've been talking about, and you're talking about the veterans.
I love that.
He was in Afghanistan. He was shot 10 times.
Oh, wow.
Was not expected to survive. They flew him out. He is now, of course, he's been home quite a while, but still he's an artist in Nashville. His name is Scotty Hastings. He's doing really well. And at CRS this past year, I grabbed a hat. So
I would love to meet him at some point.
I kind of figured you would.
I
You
think
should
we
look
would connect like that.
I think you would. And I think it'd be a perfect match. Just with everything that you do and everything I know that Scotty does. He was on my podcast a few weeks ago, but it's funny because when he came on, he had the Grateful hat on. And I had the Grateful hat
That's
on.
awesome,
I go, dude,
man.
I love your
love
hat.
that. I really do.
Yeah. So that's the story behind that. Being shot 10 times. United States Army took 10 bullets and he survived.
Again, think about that. Think about that. He's not alone. And these people are some of the, they're heroes for a reason, man.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And they're amazing to me. I think anybody that you talk to at Richards knows how much I care about them. And in fact, if you come up here, you need to visit Richard's Coffee Shop.
Oh, dude, when we get done here, I'm going to get your info.
Okay.
And, I don't know if I can do it next week because it's a quick turnaround for me. I have to go, and I'm actually DJing the wedding.
That's cool, though.
So it's my nephew. So it's like, hey, Uncle Skip, will you do, I just work in radio. I mean, dude, come on.
Yeah.
But anyways, I'm going to do it for him. And then I'm flying back on Saturday afternoon, or maybe even Saturday morning we meet up. But anyways, we can talk about that later.
I would love that. I see that Tracy's reminding me about One Wish.
Yeah.
When you get a chance, you should look up, just type in One Wish Ansel Brown on YouTube, and you'll see it's with the Carolina Panthers with their help. But it was the initial part of my children's hospital tour.
Okay.
And you'll actually see a girl that the nurses said would never smile and don't expect to smile. She's in too much pain. She can't smile, basically. And by the time I got done, there's a video of her, and you see her, just the lights flashing. You see her, this huge smile. Literally at that moment, the entire staff of the hospital was shedding tears because they had witnessed what they felt was a miracle. It was one of the most incredible moments of my hospital work. But it's in that One Wish. I wrote a song called One Wish, and it's about a girl named Hope Stout who passed away back in do you remember when the Panthers went to their first Super Bowl against New England?
Yes. Yeah.
That run that the Panthers went on, they were behind this little girl named Hope Stout for Make-A-Wish because there was not enough money in the Charlotte Make-A-Wish area to grant wishes. Mm-hmm. So what did she wish? She wished that everybody in Charlotte would get their wishes.
Wow.
So that was her wish. And then she passed away, and guess what? They raised enough money through the Panthers' help to get everybody in Charlotte their wish.
Wow.
So I inspired a song called One Wish. What would you do if you had one wish? What would you do with it? Would you use it on yourself, or would you find a way to use it on someone else?
Wow, dude.
It's an incredibly strong message in that song. And if you watch that video, you'll see what I mean. It'll speak to you.
It's an incredible message of everything you said here on this podcast. I know we're close, a little over an hour, so I almost feel like, God, I could go on all night with you. But
Me too,
you know what?
Man.
It's,
you're fun to talk to.
Yeah, you're right back at you. Your music, incredible. Good to have you back. And definitely I'm going to be getting this. What I normally do is every once in a while, like this interview, I'll play the song. And I will take clips from this interview and I will play it on the air saying, if you don't know who this guy is, well, this is who he is. And
That's
this is what he
awesome,
told me. So there's little clips. That's what I do. But
I will definitely appreciate your support, and people I need to get people to find out about me somehow. So
absolutely. Well, you know what? Yeah, we're off and running. We're going to help everywhere we can, and I love what you're doing. And I know Deanna is asking, what was Scotty? Scotty. Oh, all right. Tracy mentioned it. Scotty Hastings. That is the artist. Look him up. Normally, I don't talk about other artists when I'm interviewing an artist.
I'm good with that, man.
But it kind of went together with what you were saying. Yeah. And I'm looking, I'm wearing Scotty's hat that says grateful. And there's a reason for that. He's grateful.
I'm a fan of anybody that gets out and does what th're meant to do.
Yep.
The bottom line.
Yep. You know, so if other viewers besides family and friends that don't know where to get your music, where can they go?
AnselBrown.com to start. And
it's
we've
Ansel,
got a new website up.
Not the other. It's Ansel.
Yeah, ANSEL Brown.com. Not Ansel Adams. And
right.
Yeah. Or you can find me on any streaming platform. Just got to search Ansel Brown.
I love that. I love that. Make sure you go on.
Need all the support I can get on Spotify, by the way. So
let's go. Let's build it.
Yeah,
let's
if you're on Spotify,
happen.
Go ahead and play my music. That would be great.
And once I get my hands on the song, I will post it below this video, which is on it's on my YouTube, it's on my social, it's just all my everywhere.
You rock, man. I appreciate that.
Rock. Yeah. Ansel Brown, God love you, man. You're so
Thank
awesome.
you. I feel the same, sir.
Yeah, and I told you, by the time we get done with this podcast, we need to go have a beer.
Yes.
So,
I really wish we could, man.
I know.
So just make sure I know when you're going to be here.
Yeah, I will, I'll get your info here in just a minute or two, but I want to thank you for coming on. Thank you to all the viewers. Make sure you go on and subscribe to Skip Happens. We do a lot of these. I do a couple a week. I'd love to, keep in touch with every one of you. And this is what we do. Just subscribe, Skip Happens on YouTube. And,
definitely subscribe.
Yeah. It's not just, it's a real deal. I have my own podcast studio. I got a voiceover studio. I got a vocal booth.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I took over the baseball players.
You're living the dream, man. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing.
I know this is my world.
Yeah.
I know it is. This is my world. And that's your world.
Yep.
And I love it. All right. Ansel Brown, thank you. Thank you so much for being on Skip Happens tonight.
It is a pleasure. Absolute pleasure. Thank you for going through some of my experiences with me. It was great to talk to you.
I loved it. Right back at you, my friend. Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget